In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace the blade on this Stihl HLA66, but the process applies to the 65 and the 85. They're essentially the same machine. So annoyingly, I hit a large metal plant support whilst doing some hedge cutting, and I have bent the blade quite badly on this. So it's possible that I might be able to bend it back, but I'm going to replace the blade just to be on the safe side. I've sourced a replacement blade. I will leave a link in the description to where you can get the spare parts for these tools, as well as having the exploded part views as well, which can be useful if you need to repair the tools in any way, as the manuals are useless. The process of replacing the blade is very simple and needs hardly any tools, but it is a good opportunity to check over the machine as well, make sure it's working properly. So in terms of tools, you really only need the Stihl multi-tool, a pair of gloves and a rag just to clean up the oil and grease, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now in the video, I am going along, starting from the tip of the blade and taking off all of the screws for the blade and then going onto the gearbox. It's worth keeping them together as well, so they're in the right order when you need to put them back on. Then we can move on to the gearbox. 3 screws on here, just undo that, and then we can see the 2 screws that hold the bar to the gearbox itself. Now, 2 things to bear in mind here. They have 2 different washers. One is a thick, chunky one, which has a sort of spacer attached. Obviously, that needs to be in the right place. And the other one is a wider diameter internal hole washer than the other ones on the bar. So again, worth keeping that with that one, otherwise the other ones won't fit it. These 2 just need to be undone, and then the whole blade unit sort of comes apart. The blades themselves can be a little bit awkward to separate from the gearbox. Just give them a wig and they will come free, but it can be a little bit awkward. With everything free, I'm just going to give the bar and the metal, thin metal strip a clean as well, just with water and a bit of steel wool. And I'm also going to just wipe out the gearbox, get rid of any of the old grease. These gearboxes aren't sealed very well at all, and you get all sorts of stuff getting in there, as well as water and hedge drippings. I will re-grease it when I put the tool back together. The blades need to be reattached. Again, this can be a little bit fiddly, but just manipulate them into the right place. Then the bar and the metal skid plate can be put in. That metal plate needs to be in the right place so it lines up with the holes. So just make sure that it's the right way round. And then we'll attach those 2 main gearbox screws, making sure that the correct washers are in the right place. I would recommend using a bit of Loctite on this, as in the past when I've repaired a 66 and not used Loctite, the screws have come loose. It's worth assembling the screws in before you put them onto the bar, so washer and then spacer, and then just slot them into place. And I'll just go along the whole bar. I'm not going to tighten it too much at this point, just sort of finger tight, and then I'll just test the gearbox by turning it by hand so it's moving and it's all fine, and then I'll go along and just make sure that all of the screws are done up to the correct tightnesses. With that all the blade tight and moving, I'm going to just re-grease the gearbox. Now, I don't tend to put a huge amount on here, but just enough on the moving parts and stuff. With the gearbox re-grease, we can add the gearbox case. If you have any comments or constructive advice on how to do these processes, then do drop them in the comments. It would be really useful, not only for me, but for the rest of the community who are trying to repair their tools, trying to save themselves some money. And that just leaves me to say thanks again for watching. Bye for now.